There's no point crying over spilled milk. Yesterday, I nearly cried over spilled milk. I was like, oh, in my head, I swore, I think, a little bit. Then I laughed. I laughed at myself. Does that happen sometimes, I think? When the milk spilt onto the floor and it was going everywhere. And I was like, don't cry over spilled milk. I actually said that to myself, laughed a little bit. Then I thought, don't cry, pick it up. And I only lost a little bit, but it looked worse than it actually was. It looked really bad. The milk was trickling down the hill. And I was like, oh, this looks really bad. But I saved most of the milk. And I could have quite easily gone, oh, screw it, sod the milk, I've just lost a load of it. It looked worse than it was. Just like when we mess up our diet, when we miss that one exercise session, it feels worse than it actually is. Have you really messed up if you eat a biscuit, if you eat a chocolate bar, if you didn't have the berries and yogurt that you planned and you had a few biscuits instead? Did you really mess up at that bit? Or was it that you chose failure at that point by saying, I have failed, and that gave you permission to then fail afterwards? Because at the end, I then got the milk and I filled up loads of bottles in my home. So now we've got loads of milk bottles, like the refillable ones, filled with it, which are in the fridge and saved. And that's what we can do when we so-called mess up, when we don't do what we said we would do, when we don't do the things that we said we would do, when it isn't perfect. And like I said yesterday, just because you can't do it all, you've got to remember that you can always do something. And don't forget that.